All right, guys, you know you can stay in Costa Rica now for 180 days. 180 days. That's not the problem. What about your driver's license? I think there's a law. You can only, it's only good for 90 days. What do I do about that? I think I'm going to give you a little perspective on that. All right. In a minute. Guys, I'm Michael Allen for TravelCostaRicaNow.com. TravelCostaRicaNow.com, the travel agency. You go to TravelCostaRicaNow.com, fill out that 4-minute form. You'll be that much closer to the vacation of a lifetime. We're like you, having best friends who live in Costa Rica, who know Costa Rica, totally hooking up your Costa Rica vacation. Hey, man, if you haven't subscribed, please do, man. YouTube just keeps getting harder. Trust me on this. Want to see videos as we put them up? Hit the notification bell. And yes, if Costa Rica's on your radar, thinking you might want to live in Costa Rica, but you're not sure, we have another relocation retreat. I would love to see you there. Nobody's going to try to talk you into moving to Costa Rica. It's the good, the bad, the ugly of living in Costa Rica, so you can make the decision. But I can tell you that it's the price of admission. It's worth it just for the contacts you're going to meet there. Anybody that lives in Costa Rica knows you don't want to start anything, immigration, a house, anything without having the right contacts. I would love to see you there. I love talking to you guys, answering your questions around the pool. And I think at the end of it, the 6-7 days, I think you will know if Costa Rica is right for you, or it's, honey, we're going to, where should we go? Let's go back to Portugal. Honey, we're going to Portugal. All right, so anyway, all that information is in the link in the description below. Okay, first off, I got a couple things before we start on the 180 thing, driver's license. I think people watch me, our videos, is because I don't toe a party line. I'm not a team player. I'm just not. I've always been out of the box my whole life, and it probably benefits you guys. And I am honest about the information that I provide to you, even when it's hard to tell you. So even the people that don't like me, a lot of times will listen to me when they have something about Costa Rica, because they know I'm going to give maybe a little bit different perspective, or so they can make a better decision. I've lived here 18 years, man. I got to admit, I got a little ticked on this one, because if come in my house and tell me what's up. I know how Costa Rica does things. I can understand why you may not want to listen to me, because you've never been abroad or something, or you're worried that you might go to the gulag. I get that, but I am telling you, that what I say is how things are kind of done, right? So the other thing you guys got to know is, I say this all the time, but it's so true. And a lot of people don't understand how true it is unless, again, you live here. Nothing is black and white in Costa Rica, except for that nothing is black and white in Costa Rica. They make laws here without even telling the other government agencies sometimes, and the other government agencies are involved in the law. I mean, they do a lot of things that kind of create like clusterfucks. There's things that don't make sense, things that you can tell they haven't thought through, and they've always been like this. Always been like this, man. I don't see it really changing anytime soon. The other thing you got to know is, this is also hard, because again, if you don't travel and you don't know, their bark is worse than their bite. It always here. Have you guys seen the last couple months of the videos about the family that was over by 6 months, stayed over their 90 days by 6 months at the airport? You're never coming in Costa Rica again. They were back in 2 weeks, no problem. D'Angelo, when we went to Guatemala a couple weeks ago, passport looks like crap. Looks like it's been in the washing machine for like 3 weeks. His passport stamps all faded, and he's over 9 days, overstayed 9 days. Nothing, stamped, no problem. So what they say and what they do are a lot of times two different things, but I can understand you don't want to risk that stress, so you want to make sure you're kind of on your game. So I kind of do get that, but you have to keep in mind, bark worse than bite here. And that is about 95% true. They're nice people here, man. They're nice. I don't care how they try to portray themselves. They're good people, really. So that's what you need to know. Okay, so what's happening? If you didn't know, you could come to Costa Rica as a tourist for 90 days. They raised it to 180 180. They're giving it out like candy now. Even if you don't ask, 180, 180. How do I know this? Because you guys are sending me pictures of your 180 stamps. And thank you. I love that you guys are thinking of me and keeping me up abreast of the situation. But man, did I get a lot of them. I get a lot of them. So thank you. Thank you. So again, giving them out like candy. So some people are concerned that they heard that, well, that's great, Mike, that's great, but your driver's license is a law somewhere. I heard it's a law that still you have to leave every 90 days to keep your driver's license current. Bullshit. No, and I'm going to explain why. Your passport is as good, your driver's license is as good as your passport. If you have a passport that says 90 days, your driver's license is good for 90 days. Like D'Angelo, when he was over 9 days, the driver's license isn't good for those 9 days. The people that were over by 6 months, their driver's license isn't good for 6 months. Okay, so that's the rule. The only thing that murkies that water, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. Now, I want you to look at this logically. Okay, so Mr. and Mrs. Asian couple heard about Costa Rica, sloths, frogs, heard there's some zip lines. Hey, we should go there on vacation. Yeah, they do a little research. Everyone does a little now on YouTube or whatever. Maybe checks out some travel tips and, oh, can I drive? Or do they accept my, do I have to get a visa? Jeez, excuse me. So they come to Costa Rica. They get stamped in 180, but they didn't really ask for it. But then they were like, hey, we got some extra time, and maybe if we like it, we'll stay a little longer. So they hit a checkpoint. They hit a Costa Rican checkpoint because that's what you normally hit. They kind of do one of these. You don't really get followed too much. It can happen, but normally you're hitting a checkpoint somewhere, and then they're just checking things, right? So let's picture this. In Costa Rica, enjoying their vacation, police comes over, probably talking Spanish that they may not understand. Oh, your driver's license. You had to go to Nicaragua before 90 days. So I know you're having fun on your vacation, but you're going to have to leave and then come back. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Just tourists, just regular tourists that don't know nothing. My passport says 180. What the f are you talking about? Wouldn't even make sense, right? So what's the police going to do? Are they going to? They're obviously not going to arrest them. Are they going to march them to the border? Yes, you've got to go and come back and then come back and enjoy your vacation, damn it. Or are they going to give you a ticket? You're going to write you a ticket. You leave in about 3 or 4 days, but they write you a ticket for overstay. That makes absolutely no sense. Matter of fact, if it got out there where tourists started getting on blogs and videos going, that 180 is bullshit. I think made me leave. That's not going to happen. The president would go, yo, we're giving 180. Can you chill? If their passport's good, their driver's license is good. So that doesn't even make sense. I think we could agree on that, right? I mean, what are they going to do? There's just no way that's going to be enforced. It just isn't. And there will be one exception, and that'll be the one on the internet that you believe. I heard that a couple got. Come on, man. It's not going to happen now. But you guys aren't thinking about that. The people that are writing that you have to leave in 90 days are you perpetual tourists. Because you're sneaking around, So you're like, yeah, but perpetual tourists. Okay. So I promote that, that your your driver's license is as good as your passport. You think you have to leave in 90. Then leave in 90. I'm not going to try to talk you out of it. I know there's a lot of people very straight and narrow, want to make sure they're legal, don't want any problems. I get it. That's not me. I can guarantee you, if I'm a resident, but if I was a perpetual tourist, excuse me, and I got pulled over and my passport said 180, nothing's going to happen to me. I'm not getting a ticket. I'm not going to be, nothing's going to happen. So, and I'll tell you why. So, one thing I would do personally, now there's all kinds of things you can do. And if you think outside the box just a little bit. First of all, if a cop came up to me and asked me for my passport, I would say, "Oh, you guys are all over on the traffic stop. Where were you when my stuff got robbed out of my motel room? I don't have my passport, but I have a copy of it." So that's the first thing I would do. When you get off the plane, you need to make copies of your informational page on your passport. Now, you can do screenshots. I actually would do a piece of paper with a nice colored thing of your passport, your page of your face, and then you have to also get a copy of your stamped in. Your stamped in, all right? So that's legal. That's legal here. The only time you really have to show your passport is at a border crossing and at the bank. This is a legal thing to show the police. So I would never hand over my passport like that. So they don't even see all the stamps. Me back and forth. Now, you perpetual tourist types, remember, some of you guys, now, there are a lot that go Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Costa Rica. Yeah, that could be true. But a lot of people leave. They go to Guatemala for 5 days. They're visiting family in the United States, and a policeman never knows that you've been living here for 5 years or whatever it is. So there's all kinds of is he doing this thing? Or even if it looked, oh, he looks like a perpetual tourist. So what? You got 180. You got 180. But I wouldn't even be showing him my passport again. I'm showing him this copy because my passport got stolen. Or I'm acting like I can't speak Spanish. Or I'm doing this. Or I'm being nice. I'm acting like I have no idea what they're talking about, even if I've been a perpetual tourist for 10 years. I don't know what you're talking about. I love Costa Rica. It's the best vacation ever. It's just not going to happen. It can't happen. It makes no sense. What's murkying the water is the golden ticket thing. Now, you guys that want to live in Costa Rica and you applied for your residency and it's in the process, so you got that piece of paper. I call it the golden ticket. A lot of people call it the golden ticket. It's saying that, hey, Michael's getting his residency. He does not have to leave Costa Rica because he's pursuing his residency and he's close to it. He's close to it. But the problem with that is you still had to leave every 90 days if you wanted to drive and keep your driver's license current. So it's always been like that. They never fixed it. I think it was a way to kind of keep you in check a little bit because immigration, mine took 4 years, dude. I had that golden ticket for 4 years. Some people have it 6 months. Some people have it a year and a half before they get their stuff. And I think you leaving every 90 days to try to keep your driver's license current, I think they kind of liked it because they could see it. If you just get pulled over, and I've been sitting around for 4 years waiting for immigration to call me to come get my ID card. They're like, there's your passport says you haven't left for this time. I see you got a golden ticket, but I can't really tell stuff. So I think that they did that 90 days for the golden ticket people on purpose, and that's what murkies the water for everybody else. So if I did have a golden ticket, I still wouldn't tell them that, but I would leave every 180 to get my 180 to do the tourist. I would still act like I was a perpetual tourist. I wouldn't pull out the golden ticket unless I absolutely had to. So there's just ways around this. It makes no sense. They're not going to be able to enforce this on any long-term way. The 180, I have, again, a whole nother perspective on that. So that's going to be another video. Who knows what's really happening with that? I think I've got some things a lot of you probably haven't thought about. But don't worry, man. Don't worry. If you want to leave after, you got the 180 and you want to leave after 90. But I'm telling you, you don't have to. I'm Michael Allen, travelcostarica.com. Peace, guys. It helps. It helps. Hey, things are going to pop up. Thinking about living or traveling anywhere. Always do your homework and research. And this is why I put our videos up against anybody's.